Calaroga Shark Media.
Uh-oh, somebody didn't like the new Ricky Gervais show. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The Guardian writes, according to multiverse theory, this is off to a good start if that's the first paragraph. According to multiverse theory, there are parallel realities in which news of a new Ricky Gervais project instills a feeling other than dread. What are you talking about, dude? I'm generally excited about a Ricky Gervais project. Not this one, though, but so I'm with you there. The Guardian writes, but we don't live in them. Having seen his new series Alley Cats on Netflix Friday, a boorish banter vehicle in which animated cats shoot the breeze like a bunch of pub boars. Have you seen what's in the top 10 on Netflix? I was on there Sunday night going, who watches this crap? The Guardian writes, I'm not sure what there is to report other than the fact that I didn't laugh once. Considering what a fan I once was, I find this remarkable. What happened? Woke happened, is what his diehard fans would say. Etc., etc. Nothing makes me laugh harder than a good transgressive joke. Humor is often about dissolving dogma, acting as a safety valve for our collective id. The darker beats close to the bone have the juiciest flavor, but good is as important as transgressive. Alley Cats leans on one at the expense of the other. That's why it limps. There are jokes about fat people, blind cats, intellectual disabilities. Gus, the cat played by Ricky Gervais, swears on every line the way some Brits do, with a habitual fondness for the worst swear word, the one that gives Americans conniptions. I'm going to guess it starts with a C. The show is lazy and pleased with itself. The more it's determined to shock, the more I check my watch. The episodes are 15 minutes long, but feel much longer. Wow, this is brutal. Alley Cats, August 7th. The Hollywood Reporter caught up with John Oliver. They reminded John he and his staff have already won 32 Emmys for Last Week Tonight, and they're nominated for another 3 this year. That's about the point where Oprah stopped submitting herself for awards. Do you think HBO would go for that if he wanted to pull a similar move? John Oliver said, if the bar is Oprah, let's all agree I'm a long way under that bar. The next person who pulls the Oprah move, it better be Gayle King. Emmys have been very important to HBO to the extent they've built us some level of golden armor over the years. It'd probably be dangerous to say, we don't need this. You always want to be exactly as much trouble as you are worth. So the more you're worth to them, the more trouble you can cause. John Oliver, have you spoken to Stephen Colbert? John said, I saw him after his last show, after he managed to get that entire building through that experience, which was an amazing thing to watch. I haven't physically seen him, but our group chat is still active. The Hollywood Reporter talked about the camaraderie amongst the gang. John said, it's probably helpful that the stakes of the late-night wars have become so low. It's crazy to act like it's the Cold War. Also, we have so much in common in terms of the peculiarities of the job. Season 3 of Conan O'Brien Must Go will be on HBO Max Friday, August 21st, 4-episode season. If you want to go see Saturday Night Live, the ticket lottery for season 52 is open. Late Nighter tells us viewers can enter for a chance to score 2 free tickets to either a dress rehearsal or a live show. Lottery winners chosen at random. Can't pick a specific date. What do? You send your ticket request to SNL Tickets at NBCUNI.com, SNL Tickets at NBCUNI.com. Submissions must include your full name, email address, and an explanation of why you want to be part of the studio audience. The answer is, I'm young, in my early 20s, and good looking. That's the answer. If you write in, hey, I'm almost 57 and I do a podcast in my basement, you're not going to be picked. Do you watch the show? Do you see guys like me in the audience? No, I had my time. When my time, Billy Crystal was on the show. So if you're young and good looking, SNL Tickets at NBCUNI.com, and let's not kid ourselves otherwise. The lottery runs through 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, August 31st, 2026. The worst person who ever lived, Jay Leno. He's going to be honored at the upcoming Burbank International Film Festival with the BIFF's Vanguard Award. If you want to celebrate Jay Leno, head on over to the Marriott Burbank this Saturday. The mayor of Burbank will issue a special proclamation recognizing Jay Leno's impact on the city and declaring the day Jay Leno Day. Jay will then participate in an hour-long career retrospective conversation and will be presented with the award. Ted Lasso is back today, 9 Eastern, if you want to watch it tonight, Season 4. Minor spoilers ahead, including several characters that are not back. They include Phil Dunster's Jamie Tart, Nick Mohammed's Coach Nate, Cristo Fernandez, Danny Rojas, and James Lance as Trent Krim, and several other of the players. That all because of the new plot. You may recall at the end of Season 3, Ted Lasso left his position to return home to his family in the United States. Well, now he's back. Ted Lasso begins coaching the Lady Greyhounds, a second division women's soccer team in season 4. Tanya Reynolds plays Ted's new assistant coach, Alice Chilton. Grant Feely joins the cast as Ted Lasso's son Henry, taking over for Gus Turner, who played the role in the first 3 seasons. Back for season 4 are the characters Rebecca, Leslie, Roy Kent, Coach Beard, and Keely Jones. Sudeikis explained why women's soccer. He told E! News, "Me getting to be around women's sports, especially the WNBA. My sisters and I, my kids going to a lot of these games, having season tickets, just getting to watch these kick-ass women coming off of 3 three-pointers in a row and just seeing the humanity and camaraderie amongst them. And I grew up in a house full of women, so I've seen that in a variety of stages of my life, and it's something I've always been a big fan of and appreciated." Tanya Reynolds plays the new coach. She explained the character to The Hollywood Reporter. Sudeikis told her soccer had been Coach Alice's life, but after suffering from a recurring ACL injury, she segued to coaching, though she's not a natural coach. Reynolds explains a lot of the series arc for Alice is about her finding her best kind of coach self and learning how to better communicate and be vulnerable with the team. I was very interested in this idea of the character who's very brittle and spiky on the outside, but inside is actually quite wobbly. She requested a Zoom with Sudeikis to make sure he was aware of her lack of athleticism. She said, "I got really paranoid because the thought of me playing a coach is quite hilarious to anyone who knows me. I was like, listen, man, you've not met me. I'm not this character. I can give it a go, but I've never kicked a ball in my life." And Jason was just very Ted Lasso about it, like, "Well, I think you are." She adds, "For the returning cast, they know their characters inside out. But for us, we're still figuring out who we are. I'm nervous on any job, but I was particularly nervous on this because it's a show that everyone loves so much, and you're stepping into it as this new character who, at the beginning especially, is not particularly likable. I just really felt the pressure of it." Season 4 of Ted Lasso premieres tonight at 9 Eastern, and I wish I were more excited about it. Jordan Klepper and Ronnie Chang jumped on YouTube to talk about the 30th anniversary of The Daily Show. Where's John? Where's Jon Stewart? I get that he's off, but like... The 30th anniversary of The Daily Show has been predictable for 30 years. Where's John? This is just weird to me. I do this for a living. It's weird. Klepper said, 30 effing years of this. Can you believe it? Of this kind of banter? Chang said, "I feel like this show has outlasted America. We've outlasted quite a few things." They got a little more serious. Chang said, "We're also a show that's like a current affairs show, you know, political satire. So I feel there's always a place for political satire." Klepper agreed, saying, "Satire is part of every cultural moment and movement." Chang added, "I always felt if America couldn't do a daily political satire show, nobody can do it. You know what I mean? Like if this country that has the most freedom of speech, the most money, entertainment, the most comedy infrastructure, nurturing writers and comedians, and we have the craziest politics, if those 4 things don't combine to form a daily political satire show, if this isn't a country that can do it, then no one can do it. I think a lot of Americans don't understand that this show is able to exist because of strong freedom of speech protections that most other countries don't have." Out on Netflix today, it's Mo Gilligan's Big Chicken. I've told you about this before. If you're of a certain age, remember Super Size Me? Remember that? It was really good. Guy went to McDonald's every day. Guy Morgan Spurlock. Anyway, on Netflix today, it's Big Chicken, a fast food conspiracy. Big Chicken, a fast food conspiracy, follows British comedian Mo Gilligan as he turns his love of fried chicken into a personal investigation. He eats chicken 3 times a day for 28 straight days, while examining the industry built around it. So again, it's like Super Size Me, but chicken. Netflix says, a self-proclaimed lover of the food, Mo puts his body to the test in a bold experiment by eating fried chicken 3 times a day for 28 days straight. Over the course of the month, he embarks on an eye-opening journey from South London to the United States to reveal the historical origins of fried chicken and the social, economic, and industrial forces driving our mass consumption of it. I'm going to watch this. From fast food chains to large-scale farming, etc., 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 you'll watch. Pete Davidson and Elsie Hewitt have worked out how they're going to co-parent. They put out a statement. Page 6 has the statement. Davidson and Hewitt said, "We are cooperatively co-parenting our daughter, whose well-being remains our top priority, and we are fully committed to working together to give her love from both of us." Davidson and Hewitt began dating in March 2025. They split up 5 months after welcoming their daughter, Scotty. Scotty is named after Pete Davidson's father, Scott Matthew Davidson, the New York City firefighter who died responding to the terrorist attacks on 9/11. Michael Che is filming a new stand-up special at First Avenue in Minneapolis. August 28th and 29th tapings will be for a, quote, televised special. Where it will air, when it will be released, no one knows. Well, someone knows, but I don't and you don't. Judd Apatow said Nikki Glaser is working on a screenplay right now. Obviously, she's a ridiculously talented and fascinating person. and I think it's clear to everybody that we would love a Nikki Glaser film. I know as someone hosting a podcast in the basement, we would love a Nikki Glaser film. Oh, yes, and all the press that comes with it. Please, make several of them. Hopefully, we're getting close to a draft and something that can happen next year. It's years and years of conversations that lead to this type of work, but I've known her a long time, and this is something we're very excited about. I mean, how could a Nikki Glaser movie not be good? Right. Maddie Kelly tells Yahoo Canada, yes, the comedy space has been male-dominated. We all know that. And she says, it's gotten a lot worse. She told Yahoo Canada, I've just seen ebbs and flows for how many women are in the scene, how many women are getting rewarded for being comedians, and I think people think women get things earlier because there's such an appetite for girls to do comedy and audiences like it so much and diversity mandates. When you really think about it, if you actually analyze the list, there's not that many women. I'm the only woman on a huge percentage of the shows I do every week, and a lot of girls don't want to hang out with 8 guys that want to have sex with them. You have to have a really strong sense of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and a lot of people don't have that when you start an art form, obviously. There are big obstacles, and I personally think they get better when we really pay attention to them. I mean, the fact that no one could post something online without literally igniting a war in the comments, whether women are funny or not, it's exhausting. People over in the UK are upset that the BBC has canceled Live at the Apollo. One of the people mad is comedian Mark Watson. Live at the Apollo helped launch the career of several major British comedians, including Michael McIntyre, John Bishop, Catherine Ryan, and Mo Gilligan, the chicken guy. Live at the Apollo started airing in September of 2004. One of the early comedians on that show was Mark Watson, who appeared on the show in 2011. He said, if money's the issue, it would be very easy to make a very good lo-fi stand-up show for absolute peanuts. It's been done before, but people will be pitching that in vain until 2078. Stand-up comedian Terry Christian told Good Morning Britain, I think the big tragedy is Live at the Apollo because it's for young comedians and for them to be introduced to the general public. The good news is there's one more season in the can, so the show's not over quite yet. And that is your comedy news for today. I'll see you tomorrow.